Good morning. Today we are going to stretch our thinking by using distributive property. Our learning target is to apply the distributive property to generate equivalent expressions. The word distributive is related to the word distribute. For example, if I'm passing out papers to the class, I am distributing a paper to each person that is sitting in the classroom. When using distributive property to simplify an expression, you multiply each term in the parentheses by the number outside the parentheses before finding the sum or difference. Let's get ready. In the first example, we're going to take the number on the outside, the number 3, and multiply it to both the x and the 4 on the inside of the parentheses. 3 times x and 3 times 4. When you multiply them out, 3 times x is equal to 3x, 3 times 4 is equal to 12, and this is our simplified expression. In this next example, we have 4 on the outside of the parentheses, and on the inside we have y plus 7. So again, we're going to distribute the 4 times y, and then 4 times 7. When we multiply 4 times y, we get 4y. And when we multiply 4 times a positive 7, we get a positive 28. 4y plus 28 is our simplified expression. In this last example for distributive property, we have the number 7 on the outside and then x minus 2 on the inside. 7 times x and 7 times negative 2. When you multiply them out, 7 times x is 7x. 7 times a negative 2 is a negative 14. 7x minus 14 is our simplified algebraic expression.
Our next topic is combining like terms. As you can see on the screen, the green numbers that contain a variable need to be grouped separately from the constant numbers presented in red. In this example, we will combine the numbers with variables first and then the constants. 2x plus 4x equals 6x. 6x minus 2x equals 4x. Now the constants. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Therefore, our equation will read as 4x plus 9. This is the final outcome of this example. Now that you understand how to combine numbers and variables that are alike, let's now solve a problem that contains both distributive property and combining like terms. Keep in mind that solving distributive property gets solved first before combining like terms. Now, 5 will be multiplied by the 3 and the x inside of the parenthesis. 5 times 3 equals 15. 5 times x equals 5x. Bring down the rest of the equation because there is nothing to solve here. The problem should now read 15 plus 5x plus 2x minus 1. Remember, we combine the numbers and variables first. 5x plus 2x equals 7x. 15 minus 1 equals 14. The final expression should read 7x plus 14. As we bring this lesson to a close, I want to share that children always want to know, are we going to use this in real life? Well, combining like terms and distributive property connects to real-life experiences in different ways. First, it builds problem-solving skills by teaching you to break big problems into smaller steps, which is valuable in decision-making and everyday reasoning. Second, it is useful when budgeting, cooking, construction, and even splitting bills. When you go out with your friends and you have to share a payment and tip, combining quantities and totals, this is an idea that you can use to solve this problem. Third, because your teacher said it is important to know. Distributive properties matter.
Hi everyone. Let's quickly recap the highlights of the distributive property from our recent video. The core formula is simple. A times the sum of b and c equals ab plus ac. It's all about spreading that outer term. Step 1. Identify your distributor. It's a term right outside of the parentheses, and don't forget to include its sign. Next, multiply that term by every single term inside. For example, 3 times the quantity x plus 4 becomes 3x plus 12. Be extra careful with signs. Remember, distributing a negative into a subtraction actually results in a positive. The biggest pitfall is partial distribution. Never forget that second term. You must distribute to everything inside. Master these highlights and you've unlocked a key tool for algebra success. Keep practicing and I'll see you next time. So, does anybody have any questions?